Did you ever wonder if a transatlantic cruise is your dream vacation or a potential nightmare? So in this video, I am going to discuss in detail the pros and the cons of a transatlantic cruise. From ultimate relaxation to unexpected challenges, we'll cover it all. So I will help you decide, is this a cruise you really want to take? Stay tuned and find out everything you need to know before you book that dream vacation. In April of this year, my husband and I embarked on a 14-day transatlantic repositioning cruise. Started out in New York City, and we ended up coming home from London. Along the way, we saw Iceland, and we got to see both Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, and a little bit of France, a little bit of England. But when I first booked this, my thought was 14-day transatlantic cruise with 6 sea days. Almost half was just on the sea. And 4 of those days, they were continuous, one after another. And I started thinking, boy, that sounds kind of boring, doesn't it? I mean, I like active vacations, different port every day, on the go, see a country, not just sit on the cruise ship, having a drink, looking out to the sea. So, what did I think of this cruise? Did I love it? Did I hate it? Or was it somewhere in between? Well, stay tuned to find out. So first, why book such a cruise? Well, for us, I have to admit, it was the price and the Iceland destination. If you're lucky enough to wait and able to do last-minute cruises, you can get even a better bargain basement price on these transatlantic cruises. So I think for many of us, price is the #1 pro. And like I said, unique destinations. That was something for us. I don't think we would have ever traveled to Iceland on its own. But this way, we were able to see Iceland and some of Europe at a very, very good price. So let's start out with some of the cons, and then we'll finish up with the pros. #1 con can be weather. What if you have adverse weather? Now, we were traveling in the spring across the North Atlantic, and believe me, this was not where you sit by the pool, drink your pina colada, and enjoy the sun type cruise. There was only one day that really transatlantic was nice enough to be outside. Otherwise, it was rainy, cold, and windy. And of course, with adverse weather like that can make your ship go, right? We only actually had one day where it was just a little off when you're walking, but they had put the barf bags everywhere. Other people complained. To us, it was nothing. We had much worse when we were in the open seas in Alaska, but it's something to consider. Your cruise could be much, much bumpier. And if you're prone to seasickness, you might want to think twice. Limited online access. Most people are plugged in nowadays, right? Gotta have our phone. We have to be connected at all times. Well, that can be more of a challenge when you're in the middle of an ocean. So if you're that type of person that has to be connected and you don't want to spend the extra price for the internet package that is more superior coverage, then this may not be the cruise for you. And time difference each day. We lost 6 hours in our travel. And basically, we lost 1 hour every night. So for about 6 days, it might have been 5 days in a row, skip one, and then 6 days. And that can be a little disrupting. I mean, when you're eating breakfast would have been when you were eating lunch, right? So if you're a person that has a little bit of problems adjusting to time zones like that and gets you off your schedule, you may find that disturbing. Although a pro is, it's much easier on you than the jet lag from flying directly and losing that time. But it is a consideration. Oh yeah, and conversely, if you're going from Europe to the USA, you have the opposite problem, right? You gain 6 hours as you go. So in one way, where we kind of lost 6 hours that we paid for, basically, you gained 6 hours that you probably didn't pay for. So that could be a pro. Usually with transatlantic cruises, there are less ports because it takes time to, cruise over that ocean, right? It's a big expanse. So if you're a person who likes to be in a different port every day, this may not be the cruise for you. Now, actually, for a transatlantic cruise, ours was pretty port extensive because we actually had 6 or 7 ports if you count the last day getting on a flight in London. So that wasn't bad. But a lot of transatlantic cruises might only have 3 ports. So you have to judge if that is the cruise for you. This is not a party cruise. You know what I'm talking about. Like if you're on one of those Caribbean cruises and there's plenty of drinks and dancing and partying till 3 o'clock in the morning or all night long. This is not that type of cruise. Generally, these cruises attract an older population. A lot of times it's retired people because they have the time and more disposable income. So, yes, some of those seniors, though, can really cut the rug in the various dancing venues on the ship, but it's not really what I would call a party ship. And often there's a little bit less entertainment. So if you like the off-Broadway plays and the great comedy shows and music shows, then you might be a little disappointed. And one of the reasons is the ship can't rotate the performers at all the different ports. So you have some of the same performers that put on some different shows, but you'll recognize those performers in each show. So it's not the same. Now, that being said, we enjoyed the shows we saw and we had a good time, but this might not be as advantageous for you if entertainment is high on your list. Okay, I'm going to talk about one that most people don't talk about, but weight gain. Yeah. It's bad enough on a normal cruise, right? Because you got the breakfast, lunch, dinner, buffets with all this food, inviting you to keep coming back and taking multiple plates and great desserts. And then in between, if you felt like onion rings or French fries or even a burger, you can go to that 24-hour restaurant. And if you're out by the pool, you might get some frozen custard, an ice cream cone, and maybe some frozen drinks. I mean, the calories, calories, calories. Well, that's bad enough on a regular cruise. But on a transatlantic cruise, when you're spending all those sea days, one of the things you look forward to is food. That's right. In fact, I saw sometimes people lined up for the buffet, like 20 minutes or longer before it opens. I mean, really? But what does that mean? Well, the cruise ships all have wonderful gyms. In fact, I went to one. Yeah, I went to one and filmed this for you, but I did not partake. So one of the problems can be weight gain. And you have that problem for a normal cruise, but times it by 2 for a transatlantic cruise. Just something to think about. Another con can be your one-way airfare. Usually one way is a little more expensive than a round trip. And if you're used to leaving from one port, having your cruise, and coming back to that same port, then this might be an added expense for you. You could view it as a con because one way, let's say in London, we could have extended our stay and really experienced London and all the things it has to offer before we flew home. So it can give you an extended vacation, but the added expense is something to consider. So we already discussed one of the pros, which was price. Let's discuss some more pros. I think number one people cite is more time to relax and unwind. With more days at sea, you've got more time to catch up on your favorite pastimes. I had 10 different novels on my Kindle, and believe me, I read all 10 when you consider the cruise itself and the long flight home. So if you love reading and you want to have a cozy place on the cruise ship, there are plenty of comfy chairs and couches and even a view of the sea while you're reading. And on our cruise ship, it had a wonderful library to pick from, so you didn't even have to worry if you forgot to bring a book. So reading is a great opportunity on a transatlantic cruise. So you can spend your days lounging in a hot tub, taking a refreshing swim, depending on the weather, or indulging even in a spa day, of course, at an extra cost. And maybe you're feeling more adventurous. They have, in a lot of ships, rock walls that you can climb, or you can just go out on the deck and play some shuffleboard or a game of chess or checkers. And for those looking to stay more active, you can practice your golf swing, shoot some hoops on the basketball court, or even join a fitness class. And of course, there's all those entertainment opportunities on the ship. You can drink and dance the night away, play cards, even watch a movie in the atrium, or maybe play bingo or let's make a deal. And you have those live performances to keep you entertained. And if you're like me, you have to try your luck in the casino. And of course, all the dining options, be it buffet, the sit-down dinner, or the specialty restaurant. All the cruise ships have a lot to offer. So if you plan your cruise right, you can come home feeling fresh, rejuvenated after your cruise. Now, to my husband and I, one of the most rewarding things about the transatlantic cruise was the social part. You can meet and interact with fellow travelers from around the world. It's a great opportunity to actually make new friends and maybe even traveling companions. I met a lovely couple, and hi Jean if you're watching this, and they really helped make the time pass and the trip much more enjoyable. But there's numerous social activities to bring people together on the ship. We did the bar hop and met people going to each bar and having a little bit different drink. That was a nice opportunity. I did a casino pull, and that was a lot of fun. I think it lasted for like over 2 hours. We all put in $20 and took turns pulling that one-arm bandit, right? And then we decided, okay, let's put our money back in. I think we might have done that twice. And anyway, then we ended up to call it quits, and I think I still got $18 back. So it was a lot of fun. I met a lot of people, and there are other opportunities like that. The ship even has one where crafters can get together and maybe do their knitting, crocheting, whatever they're doing. So there are plenty of opportunities for social interaction to meet people. And in fact, we met one couple that met each other in one of the solo meet and greets on past cruise. And one was from Australia, one was from the United States. And they would start to plan cruises together so they could spend time together. And now they're actually engaged and going to get married. So on a cruise, you can meet a great friend, a traveling companion, or you might even have romance. There you have it. But how did my husband and I feel about the cruise? Well, my husband loved the cruise. He loved the food, going up the buffet. In fact, he liked the buffet better than the sit-down restaurants. He loves a lot of Asian dishes. He really enjoyed the food, and he is an avid cigar smoker. So he spent time in the smoking lounge and made a lot of friends with like-minded people. So for him, the cruise was fantastic. So what about me? Well, personally, I'm not a fan of continuous sea days. But I quickly developed a routine to keep myself occupied. Wake up, do my hair, go to breakfast with my husband, then I would take a walk inside or outside the cruise ship because I'm one of those 10,000 or more steps a day fanatics. and then maybe work a bit. Then, of course, you got lunch, and then go down and either work a bit or go down and mingle a little bit, have a drink, talk to people, look out at the sea, go back up and work a little bit, and then it would be dinner time. Go to dinner with my husband, and then at night we might go to an entertainment. We might just have drinks with people we met, or I might try my luck at the casino, or just go back to the cabin, relax, watch a movie, or read a book. So it became very almost structured for our days. But I'm going to be completely honest here. If I wouldn't have had the internet, I think I would have been bored. It wouldn't have been the cruise for me. So in one way, having to work part-time kind of saved me because I had something to do on my laptop. I was still connecting with people at work. And when you own a business, that's kind of important. And I was even able to work on editing some videos. So I enjoyed the connectivity. It was great, by the way. I think it was like $358 extra, but for me, it was well worth it. And it ended up making the cruise worthwhile and enjoyable. And I liked that my husband really enjoyed his time on it because this is a vacation more for him than for me. So I'm being honest. I'm not one to just sit and drink and mingle that much. That's just not me. You know, if I want to relax, we're right now on a beautiful deck I'm at with a beautiful view. And I could have my own drink. This is water, but I could have whatever I want and listen to the sound of nature around me and relax. I wouldn't have to spend a lot of money to go do it on a cruise ship. So for me, that is not the number one reason for cruising. My number one reason for cruising was because my husband really, really enjoys it. I guess the big question is, would I do it again? And I think I would, but I would have that internet package. I would take my laptop. You know, the price was fantastic, and if it had some great destinations, you know, like Iceland that we wouldn't normally see, yes, I would do it again. But you need to look at your itinerary. Is this the cruise for you? Do you easily get seasick? Is this something you should consider? Are you easily bored? Do you instead love sitting by the pool, sipping a drink? But what happens if the weather's bad? Will you enjoy the cruise? So you have a lot of things that you have to think about before you plan your cruise. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. And I hope you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button. I really, really appreciate it. And I promise more thoughtful and honest videos in the future. So remember, adventure awaits.